name is Lily Carden, and I recently conducted a research project on the challenges of solo librarianship, particularly for new school librarians. In the process of this project, I read news articles, professional journal articles, researched professional standards, interviewed librarians in the field, and drew from professional internship experience. I focused my research on the challenges of being a solo school librarian and the strategies that new school librarians can use to develop quality library programs despite these challenges. Let's look at some definitions for quality school library programs. The American Association of School Librarians, AASL, publishes position statements that serve as guidelines for developing school library programs. The position statement on effective school library programs lists adequate staffing as the number one component for a program that promotes college, career, and community readiness. They state that adequately staffed school library programs can provide librarians who serve as instructional leaders and teachers, support the development of digital learning, participatory learning, inquiry learning, technology literacies, and information literacy, and elevate literacy experience through guidance and motivational reading initiatives.
Wow, that sounds great.
So, what makes a school library adequately staffed?
AASL's position statement on adequate staffing recommends the following minimum requirements to support an effective library program. First, the library should have one or more certified full-time school librarians leading the program. They state that the additional number of school librarians beyond the first should be determined by the number of students and teachers, the size of the school and facilities, and the number and types of instructional programs and services offered. In addition to certified library professionals, every school library should employ at least one full-time technical assistant or clerk for each school librarian. Some programs may need more assistance depending on the number and types of services offered at the school. Finally, the school district as a whole should have a district-level library supervisor to provide leadership, support, and professional development for school-level librarians and programs. Although this is a great ideal, the unfortunate reality is that many districts across the country have been facing budget cuts and have lost professional librarians and support staff positions. As of 2012, only 2/3 of library media centers in traditional public schools had a full-time, certified, paid school librarian. In fact, 20% did not have any certified library staff, full or part-time. These numbers are even worse in public charter schools. With statistics like these, it's not surprising that many of the certified librarians working in a school are often working as a solo librarian. In 2011, Knowledge Quest published an entire issue of their journal devoted to solo librarians. In an article in this issue, a solo librarian is defined as a school librarian working alone. No paid clerk, aide, paraprofessional, or second librarian. We want to provide high-quality programs for our students and meet the AASL's position statement goals for effective library programs. But this can be challenging as a solo librarian. As one writer said, solo school librarians are the air traffic controllers of the library world, serving hundreds, if not thousands, of students. We are responsible for a book budget, technology resources, orientation and research classes, book talks, and reading promotions, as well as professional development for teachers, guiding them in the effective integration of all of the above in students' learning. This can be especially daunting to a new librarian who may be inexperienced in many of the tasks they are now expected to do. I interviewed Kristen Brinsvold, a school librarian in her first semester on the job, to get her take on this issue.
I think one of the more basic challenges, I guess, is that when my assistant's not there and I have a class that's checking out books and I usually have them doing something while like a small group is checking out, I have to be at the computer, like scanning their books in, because the younger kids, I don't trust to check out their own books. And then I have kids who want help finding a book, and then I have kids who aren't on task, and I can't be in 3 places at once. So then I feel kind of tied to my computer. So that's hard. When my assistant's there, it's a lot easier because I can be moving around more. On the other level, just being the only librarian, especially being new, is that you don't have anyone to help you out with your lesson plans. You don't have anyone to compare yourself to say, oh, I should be doing this, I could be trying this. there's no one who knows exactly what you're supposed to be doing, who can give you feedback. You don't have that grade level team to like fall back on or depend on, so that's really tough.
I spoke with Lori Sands, who instructs pre-service teacher librarians at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and she clarified this point further.
It's hard to be prepared for all the different roles of the librarian. Many people think still that librarians just check out books and shelf books, and that is one tiny little piece of what they do over the course of a day. There's lots of teaching for school librarians, lots and lots of teaching, which means there's lots of planning that goes into that. And then there's just the library management, ordering, collection development, processing, cataloging, maintaining the collection. So there are a lot of things that are standard for all libraries, but then there are a lot of things that can vary from place to place. Often school librarians are also the tech support for the school, and some schools have one-to-one laptops or tablets, and the librarian has to manage all of those devices and troubleshoot and repair and all of that. Often the librarian is the one doing the website, which is a big job also. So there's just a lot, and there's not really always, you can often feel like there's not time to get everything done. And when you're new and you're starting out, especially, that can be really overwhelming because you think that you have to do all this and you can't get it done, and what do you do?
So, what can you do?
Many librarians have written articles and blogs recommending strategies for effectively managing solo librarianship without becoming overwhelmed or burned out. Here are a few strategies that I discovered during this research project. Maintaining a good work-life balance and taking time to care for yourself is essential for feeling less stressed and more organized. Leave work on time at the end of the day, and then keep positive routines at home. Get a good night's sleep and set an alarm to wake up at the same time every day. Eat well, exercise, and find a hobby you enjoy. Staying organized at work can improve your mood and help you function better on the job. Keeping your library neat and free of clutter will help you find things quicker throughout the day, saving you time. Another great way to provide more services for students and teachers is to delegate responsibility. Start a student helper program and let students run the circulation desk, shelf books, and perform other simple tasks around the library. One librarian started an Adopt a Bookshelf program where individual students are in charge of keeping one bookshelf clean and organized. This is a leadership opportunity for students and helps lessen your workload at the same time. You can seek out parent volunteers to help with special projects like book fairs. Transferring program management to teachers when possible can also be helpful. For example, one librarian wrote about having the teachers at her school take over the Accelerated Reader program. This saved the librarian time and also gave teachers ownership of their program and assessment measures. Experts say that one of the most important ways to remain effective as a solo librarian is to learn how to say no, even if this means cutting library hours or services. As one person, you simply can't do everything. And as one expert states, an exhausted librarian is an ineffective librarian. When practicing this step, it's important to keep in mind the mission and values of your school library program. If you have to choose between two services and you can't offer both, consider which one will most benefit your students and which one will best support your library program. If you have an extra hour at the end of the day, think about how that hour could best be spent supporting your program and the needs of your students. Should you be planning lessons, shelving books, contacting teachers to collaborate on instruction, or running the circulation desk? Think about what your library needs most. Over time, you will grow more experienced, and you may start to develop some programs to the point where they can be run with less time and energy every year. This will allow you to slowly build your resources and services into the quality school library program you strive for in your mission and goals.
And then also, I just think realizing that you have to build that program. It takes a few years to build a program. It can't necessarily be perfect the first year. So you have to cut yourself a little bit of slack on that. You if you're doing lesson plans for, say K through 5 or 6 through 8 or that kind of thing, knowing that first year is the hardest because you have to do all the lesson planning the first year. The second year, you can build on some, you can tweak them, what went well, what do I want to do differently, what do I want to add, and you don't have to, you're not starting from scratch, after the first year. So the first year, I think, I really wish that we could help our new librarians understand that it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect is the enemy of good. So be good the first year and then work towards, being even better.
Remember that being a solo librarian does not mean you're alone. Use your professional and social networks to participate in professional development and reach out to other librarians and teachers for support and guidance.
I would say, first of all, it is really important to try to be connected to other librarians. Most school districts have, county-wide meetings where they get together for PLCs or professional development or different kinds of things once a month or once a quarter or something like that. And even though sometimes it's hard to be away from your school, that needs to really be a priority because the information that you get is crucial, but the networking and connections that you make with other school librarians, even if they're not in your building, then you have people you can call or email or meet with and bounce ideas off of and get advice from. So I would say keep making connections and building that.
So it's really important early on to find the teachers who will support you and help you out, because that's made a ton of difference for me. Just being able to build my own small support system at work, because without that I think I really would feel like an island, even more than I do sometimes.
Thanks for watching. I hope you've learned something about running an effective school library program as a new solo librarian. Less stressed and more organized. You're terrible at the travel program.
I'm certified. This scene will get you an A.
Eat well, exercise, and find a hobby you enjoy.